Hi and welcome to Real Reviews. My name's Martin Carr and today I've got an exclusive interview with Tina Roesler Kerwin and Jaime Leigh McIntosh, hair and makeup artists on Andrew Dominik's Blonde, which is out on Netflix on September 28th. How about we jump right in?
Of course.
Now, I noticed from both of your IMDb's that you have been involved in quite a few, shall we say, large projects over the course of both your careers. So rather than asking how people normally get involved in these things, because you've worked with various actors and actresses, specifically lead actors and actresses, did that play a part in becoming involved in projects, or in this case, was it the subject matter that got you involved?
For me, I got involved because the producer, first AD, I had worked with before, and we had just finished another film, and he called me and said, "What are you doing?" I told him I had a job, and he said, "That job's going down. I was on it, but I have another job, but I can't tell you anything about it. But you want this job." I was like, "Oh, okay. What do I do now?" And he said, "Just wait for a call." I was like, so that's how I got involved.
Yeah,
and then I got a call.
Yeah. I was involved through. It's always networking, really. Jean Black, who is an incredible makeup artist that looks after Brad Pitt a lot, had worked with Andrew Dominik on the two films that Brad had done with Andrew. And she had recommended me to Andrew. So it was through word of mouth and recommendation that then I went in to meet with Andrew. Yeah.
So obviously, from your perspective, I assume there was quite a lot of research involved with regards to the hair and makeup elements of this particular project. What particular research did you actually undertake on this occasion?
It started with the director, Andrew. I mean, he had already, of course, he'd been working on this for so many years, and he had lined the production office conference room with an incredible amount of imagery. And it was everything from Marilyn through to just inanimate objects, feel, mood, lighting, all this type of thing. So it kind of started with his guidance and what recreations he wanted to do. So that kind of narrowed things down a little for a minute. And then just deep diving. I mean, we were just looking everywhere we could for Marilyn reference. Yeah, movies, photos, all of it.
All of it. And never stopped looking. No. To the very end.
Or even now, I'm still coming across images that I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that one.
So I was going to say, considering all this, I saw the film this morning, and it's a very unique, I would say, very, very unique vision. Yeah. And it's neither a straight biography, nor is it really a fit. I having problems trying to categorize it. It's a great piece of work, though. So my question would be, I guess, what were those creative conversations with Andrew to begin with? How did you get from the jumping off point to obviously what I saw today?
Well, I think first of all, it's very brave of you to have just seen it and then be able to want to speak about it so soon, because it takes some processing, some of that imagery.
A lot of it.
Yeah. And you may be thinking about it 3 days later. Something will come up. So bravo to you for being so courageous. As Jaime Leigh said, we started with the research that Andrew, the director, had already done, and he had, like she said, he lined the walls with imagery, and then he had a very big wish list of images that we wanted to recreate, for the props, for the telling of the story, and I think the process was finding Marilyn and Anna, and in the process of finding our Marilyn, we just found ourselves in front of a camera, recreating some of these on the fly for some of the prop stuff. So it was a little bit of a trial by fire to get some of those images done, but we learned a lot in the first, the real intense first week of prep, and when we kind of found that the small nuances that we needed, we just moved from there. Does that make sense?
Perfectly. I was gonna say, obviously you worked very closely with Anya in terms of the look. How instrumental was she in terms of her input into the character, defining, because there's obviously two distinctions. There's Norma Jean, and then there's Marilyn within the film, and they are two very separate characters. So how did she feed into that?
I think it was quite a mixture of getting information from Anna and Andrew. And once we had figured out the iconic recreations, we knew where that kind of stood, then it was trying to work out the Norma Jean at home, the natural, the real, and finding that balance. Anna is very open. She's very collaborative. She's also incredibly helpful when you are in a rush, because everything was done on such a time limit, more so than any other film I've worked on. So she just is, it was that type of thing that I would do my work, and as long as Andrew and Anna were happy, I was happy. So it was just finding that place with them. But I will say it was so much fun doing these incredibly glamorous looks, but also these broken down, deconstructed, and more natural, real woman at home kind of looks as well. And I think Anna really enjoyed that process with us.
I was going to say that there are films within the film over the course of Blonde. Were there any particular challenges that replication threw up, that sort of recreation of those looks within a film? That makes sense.
Well, in the process of creating these looks, you're dealing with, multiple people. So you're dealing with Anna, and you're dealing with Norma Jean, and you're dealing with Marilyn. And so the effort is to try and, merge all of those, imagery and looks into one that makes sense. And, Andrew had all these pictures that were on set. He was literally had the photograph on a C-stand, and the actors are in front of the camera, and we are moving the smallest increments to get these images correct. So, like Jamie Leigh had said, when Andrew was happy, that was the biggest goal, because he was our biggest critic, and support as well. But he had worked on this film so long and had such a clear vision that in a way we were sort of late to the game, just because we started when the film started. So
yeah, and I think it's one challenge to recreate those looks, but also in your mind you're constantly thinking about every single person that knows exactly what Marilyn looks like and is familiar with these films and knows them inside out, and her fan base and her, everything like that. And you're just thinking in the back of your mind, like, I hope, like, I think it's looking all right. Andrew seems to be happy. Anna's happy. Like, are the fans, like the Marilyn fan base, going to think the same thing? Like, I hope so. So that challenge.
Yeah, it felt like a big responsibility to get it right. Yeah. So hopefully we did that.
I normally finish my interviews with a completely off-topic question, and it's this: can you both describe for me your perfect Sunday afternoon?
I think I might have had it just yesterday. I was laying, we have a very large hammock, and the temperature was just right. The hammock's under the tree, and I had my husband and my two dogs all on the hammock, and we just kind of were dozing in and out of sleep. It was wonderful.
That sounds perfect to me. My perfect Sunday is probably not much different. And your Sunday when you're working and your Sunday when you're not working are very different Sundays. And the most perfect Sunday is when you're not working. My husband and two of my dogs are up in the mountains. So I'm in LA with one of my dogs, and he's an old fella. And he's laying right here. And we got up and we took a walk, and we both took naps. And I'm learning a new video app that Leigh is trying desperately to teach me. And so I spent some time with that until, my dog Fausto needed to go out, and then we fell asleep again. So it was a perfect day. It was, half of my family's not here, husband and dogs, but it was a pretty quiet day. Other than that, what's your perfect Sunday?
Wow, you're the first person that's asked me that. I really love what I do. So I think maybe it would involve watching maybe I don't know, a crime drama, something I'd have to write about, something I would have to dig into. I mean, this has been a great day for me because there's a TV show which is on BBC tonight with David Tennant and Stanley Tucci, which I did a review for, called Inside Man, which is excellent. I've got to review and watch The Old Man, which is Jeff Bridges. That's Disney Plus, and that's going to be out on the 28th as well. I watched Blonde today as well, for you ladies specifically, and was completely confused by it in so many interesting ways. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And my wife, and honestly, talking to you ladies and talking to other production designers, composers, directors and actors who work on these projects, which are extremely interesting to me. It broadens my knowledge, and I have more insight now on this film. I can go away and I can actually apply that to anything I might write about. So that's my perfect Sunday. Plus I have a family and I have grandchildren, and they're really understanding. So
our families have to be understanding if you're going to be doing this kind of thing, because we often put them to the test.
Anyway, ladies, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. It's been a really eye-opening, and I genuinely I probably need to watch the film again.
Yeah. So we recommend you watch it again, and when the questions come up in the middle of the night, write them down, because you'll have them. We've all had them.
If I've got any follow-ups, I'll send them through Alex, I promise.
Okay.
All right. Take care, ladies. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.